This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to introduce you to the unbelievable new Barry's Prime Roulette system. I can't wait to share with you how this works and how you can start using it to make money in the casino. So we're going to have some split bets to start here, and we're going to start out with small wins, and the wins are just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and then we're going to make a ton of money. I can't wait to share this with you. And let's go ahead and get started and place the bets. So here we go, and it is time. Okay, we have a zero balance, a $16 starting bet. And again, the wins at the beginning are going to be small, and then we're going to win a lot as we go along. So that is a win on the 3-6. You can see we only won $2, but that's okay. The profits are just going to keep going up with this one. And now we have a $16 bet, but with one less bet out there, and that's a 33 black. And we lost that one, so we're going to double up from 15 to 30. And spin again here. And let's see what we get on this one. That's an 8 black. Okay, we got a $6 win. We're at -7, but don't worry about that. As we go along here, the profits are going to escalate. And we just removed that one there. And we're going to go ahead and spin again. Okay, here we go. That's a 10 black. Fantastic. That's an $8 win. We're only up $1, but again, it's going to escalate here in a second as the numbers come off. So now we're going to spin again at $26 total bet. Super high coverage, and we're not going to go all the way into low coverage with this one. You need to know the rules and what you need to do and how many numbers you should stop betting with, and we'll go over all that here in a minute. So we lost again, so it's time to bet again here after we doubled, and that's a $20 win. So let's go ahead and remove the 24 and the 21. And okay, now we're at a $49 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And let's see what we get on this one. That's a 23 red. Okay, that's another win, $24 win. We're up 19. And after we remove the 20 and the 23 here, let's see how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're going to do this until we have less than 10. So we're going to go ahead now, and after we remove that, just spin again. And here we go. That's a 28 black. That's a nice win. We're currently at $47. And let's go ahead and remove the 25, 28. Okay, now let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have to go till we have less than 10 before resetting. So we're just going to go ahead and spin again here at a $40 total bet. And you have to end on a win with this, but we'll go over all the rules as we go through. Okay, that's a good one. So we got a win, and now we have less than 10 splits left once we remove the 13, 16 here. So now that there's less than 10 and we finish on a win, we go ahead and restart. We're up $79, and it's time to place the bets again. So let's go ahead and place them again. This is Barry's Prime Roulette System. All right, here we go. And that one right there. And now let's go ahead and spend $16 total bet. Here we go. That's a 2 black there. All right. Again, it starts small again, but you see we're already up $81. So the profits will start to escalate again, just like the last time. Let's just rebet and spin, and here we go. Okay, that is a 00, so that's definitely a loss. Okay, so let's go ahead now, and we will just double the bet and spin again. Now we're at $30 total bet, and here we go. There we go, and it will be an 8 black on this one. That's a nice win. We're up 72. We'll remove the 8 and the 11 now, just like that. And now we're at a $29 total bet. All right, and the profits are just going to keep escalating as we go through. That's a 1 red. That's a nice win. We're up $80 now. Let's remove the 1 and the 4. Okay, now we're at $26 total bet. And we'll go over all the rules here as we go through. Again, you have to have less than 10 splits, and you have to end on a win. So that is a $26 loss there. We'll double up from 26 to 52. And this is a $2,000 bankroll system. You could probably play it with 1,000, but he recommends 2. And that's a nice $20 win. So we're up 74. We're going to remove the 3-6. Okay, and then just spin again with a $48 total bet. And here we go. That's a 15 black. That's a nice win, and we're up $98 now. You can see the profits are starting to come. And then let's just spin again at 44, and then we'll count and see how many splits we have after this one. Excuse me. That's a 15 black there. And we lost, so it's time to double up again from 44 to 88, and that's why we have the $2,000 bankroll. Very, very important, and here we go. That's a 5 red. That's another loss. So again, why we have the bankroll, we have to double up to 176, and then here we go. That's a 29 black. That's a nice win, $112 win. We're up 78. Let's remove the 26.29, just like that, and let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have to get rid of one more, so let's go ahead and spin. You have to have less than 10 and end on a win. So here we go. That's a 33 black, but we lost. So again, this is why we need the bankroll. Let's double up from 160 to 320 and spin. Okay, that's a 4 black. We lost again, so it's time to double up again. We're going to go from 320 to 640. This is why we have a $2,000 bankroll. Now you're seeing why it's so important. And that's an 18 red. And we lost again. My goodness, so we can't double again. We have to stay at 640 total bet here. And here we go. That's a 27 red. Okay, we got the win. We're at minus 530. So what we're going to do now is remove the 27 and the 30. And Barry says that if you're not in profit, and you need to keep going. So let's see where we're at. And we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right now. So let's go ahead and spin with 9. Otherwise, you would always quit with less than 10. But he says if you're in a deficit, then you need to keep going. Okay. Now we're back up again. And let's go ahead and restart. He says that if that happens and you get back up again, you always restart. You can always build it back up. So let's just start over. And so he says that negates the session profit. He just wants to make sure you're in profit before resetting. We're at $46. Let's spin again. And let's go through all this again. I think that was very unfortunate what happened on that last one. But, you know, we played it safe. We did it right, like he said, and we'll build it back up again. Doesn't take too long to build it back up. Let's take the 29 and the 26 off, and then spin again at $15 total bet. And here we go. That's a 15 black. Okay, that's a nice win, and we're up 51. And it's also nice, to start getting a bunch of wins again once you get back to super high coverage and get your confidence back a little bit after you have a rough ride like that, and then start building it back up again. The worst thing you can do is try to get it all back in one spin. So let's go ahead and remove the 7 and the 10. And now we're at a $13 total bet. There we go. All right, come on. That's a 24 black. That's a good win. We're up 60. And let's go ahead and remove the 21-24 and spin at $12 total bet now. Here we go. That's a 9 red. Okay, another win. We're up 66. Let's remove the 9. Okay, now we're at $11 total bet. 22 numbers covered. Okay, that's a 27 red. And that's another win. Let's count them and see where we're at. And let's first remove the 27 that just hit. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we keep going. This is a $10 total bet with 20 numbers covered. And here we go. That's an 18 red. And we lost, so we'll double up. Okay, we're going to go from 10 to 20 and spin. That's a 28 black on that one. Nice, that's a $16 win. And let's remove that. Okay, so we had a win, and we have less than 10. So we restart, and you're going to notice too that the majority of the time that you make a lot of money is actually when you get losses early, because we had a bunch of wins on that one, and we made some profit, but we're only up $79. So you actually will get a lot more profit when you have losses early, and then you stop having losses. So let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Let's see what we get on this one. That's a 12 red. Okay, that's a $2 win there. Started out low again. We'll remove the 12. Okay, and then let's go ahead and spin. Now we're at $15 total bet. Let's build it back up. Try to get a couple $100 profit here. All right, that's a $3 win. We're up 84. We'll remove the 15. And now we're at a $14 total bet with 28 numbers covered. Okay, that's a 28 black on that one. Okay, another $4 win. We're up 88. Let's remove the 28 and the 25. And then spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 29 black there. Another nice win. We're up 93. Okay, we'll remove the 26, 29 and spin. 24 numbers covered now, $12 bet. And that's a 0. So we definitely lost that one. So we're going to go ahead and double up from 12 to 24 and spin. And here we go. That's a 34 red. That's another loss, so we're going to double up. But again, when you double up and you have a loss, it actually creates more opportunity to get more wins. So here we go. Another loss, double 0. Okay, so we're going to have to double up again. Now we're going to 96. And now let's get some wins here. Now that we're at a little higher bet amount, let's make some money. That's a 32 red. Ouch, we lost again. So let's double up again. This is why we have the $2,000 bankroll. And surely we'll get a win here before long. That is a 10 black there. Finally, we got a win, and we're only up $9 after all those losses. So we're going to take the 7 and the 10 out. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember, you have to have less than 10 and end on a win. So here we go. Okay, that's a 21 red. That's a nice win, $112 win. We're up $121. Now let's take out the 21, 24. All right, fantastic. Now we're at 160 total bet. Let's get another win right here. That's a 13 black. There we go. That's a $128 win. Now we're up $249. Let's take that out to the 13 and the 16. Oops, let me go ahead and fix that there. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a win, and we have less than 10. That means we restart. So now we're up $249. So let's go ahead and restart. Put the bets back out there again. And this is the Barry's Prime Roulette system. All right, and then that's actually not right with that $19 bet there, but we'll go ahead and spin. I think it's only 16 on there. Sometimes that makes an error there, but we'll see when we get the win here. Yep, it's correct. That's a $2 win. We're up $251. And again, the wins always start small, and then they get bigger as you go along. You just remove the bet and spin again. And here we go. That's an 18 red. Okay, and the bet corrected there. So we won another one. Let's go ahead and remove the 18. Okay, and then we'll spin again at $15 total bet, and now 30 numbers covered. And that's a 15 black. We lost that one, so we'll double up 14 to 28 and spin. And again, when you lose early, it does give you the opportunity to make more money, as you saw in that last time through. Okay, that's an $8 win. We're up $248. We'll go ahead and remove the 7 and the 10, and then we'll spin again. at $26 total bet now. And that's definitely a loss. Oh, no, that's not a loss. That's a 35. That's a good one. We're up 258. Let's remove that one. And here we go. And so we're at $24 total bet now. Let's see where this one takes us. That's a 12 red. Fantastic. We're up 270 now. Let's go ahead and remove the 9 and the 12. And then spin again at $22 total bet. That's a 28 black there. Fantastic. Another win. We're up 284. We'll go ahead and remove that one now, the 25 and the 28. And then spin at $21 total bet. So we'll try to go through this one more time. And that's a 27 red. Nice one. $16 win. We're up $300. Let's count them after we remove this. So if we remove that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're under 10 again, so it's time to reset. So let's just call it quits there. And that was a good session, $300 win. And let me know what you think of Barry's Prime Roulette system down in the comments as usual. If you want to send a system in, send it to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. And if you're enjoying the content, please definitely subscribe to the channel. Let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. And just really hope you're enjoying it and appreciate everyone's support. Also, check out the cash out shirts at theroulettemaster.com. And if you want to stick around, we have an incredible system that's trending on YouTube coming up next. We'll just go ahead and jump right in and get started with that right now. Thanks for sticking around. I think you're going to absolutely love this system that's trending on YouTube right now. This is called The Best Now Unstoppable. And let's just jump right in and get started. Here we go.
This is the Roulette Master, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Kentuck White and his moving corner systems. Well, he contacted me today, and he said that there's some unbelievable things that I can add to his moving corners that will make it incredible, and that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to test this system up against Romanowski in a head-to-head matchup. Each one is going to get 15 minutes of playtime. This is going to be exciting. Let's go ahead and get started, and let's place the bets for Romanowski. We're going to put $60 on second and third dozen, 20 on two corners. But really all you have to do with this if you want to play for less is the bets on the corners need to be a third of the bets on the second and third dozen. But we have a $160 total bet right now, and let's go ahead and spend. That's an 8 black. Let's see what we get there, and that's a win. So obviously we'd like to stay out of that first dozen, but we're up $20 already. And let's go ahead and spend. Here we go. That's a 27 red, and high numbers are always good with Romanowski. So now we're up $40. And I can't tell you how many times I've played Romanowski where I don't get a single loss and I cash out at like $100 up or $150 up. It happens all the time. However, you do get losses sometimes. So we're up 60. Let's rebet and spin. And you have a couple options once you get those losses. And depends kind of how you're doing up to that point. We'll go over that as we go through and get our first loss. We're up 80, so obviously you could cash out 80 up right now just after about 20 seconds. And that's a 34 red. That's a good one. So now we're up 100 already. So obviously we could cash out 100 up. And if you're playing in the casino, I mean, why not? Just I'm telling you, so many times I've just done a few spins and cashed out with winnings on Romanowski. The other thing that's really cool is if you do this and we're up 120 is all you're really risking is the $160 unless you start increasing your bets or you keep playing if you do lose. And that's another win there. So we're up 140 now. And once you get up over 160, that's fantastic because you're playing with house money at that point. And that's a 27 red. That's a win. Okay, so obviously I would recommend cashing out with the $160 we have right now. But we're going to play for the full 15 minutes because I want you to see how many losses you might get with Romanowski over a 15-minute stretch. So you have a good idea of, of how many you'll have. And we're up 180. Let's rebet and spin, and here we go. But there are 32 numbers covered. That's why we're getting so many wins, and that's a 26 black. Okay, that's a win. We're up $200 already, so here we go. And the great thing now is if we lose, we're still going to be up. We're playing with house money at this point, and that's a 15 black. and we're up 220. So let's go ahead and spin again here. And you can just keep if you get losses, just keep playing and playing and playing. You would need a higher bankroll for that. However, and we're up 240 now. One way to play Romanowski is just bring $160, and if you lose if you lose early, then unfortunately you lose 160. But that's all you're risking for the entire day, and you have a really good chance of cashing out. And we're up $260 right now. You have a really good chance of cashing out with $160. We've already made way more than that, and we haven't even had a loss yet. So that's a 29 black there. Now we're up 280, and let's rebet and spin. And here we go. So we're 3 minutes in with Romanowski, and the new exciting additions to Kentucky White system coming up. We're up $300, and let's go ahead and spin. So great start here, and let's see how it goes for the rest of the 15. That's a 23 red, and that's a win. You can see we're up $320, and all we've risked up to this point is $160. And here we go. That's a 6 black. If you're going to play for a while, though, you do want to bring more than 160, just in case you have a loss early. We're up 340, and let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. But this is a great way for people that, and there's another win there. We're up 360. This is a great thing for people that might want to win $100 or $150, but don't want to risk $2,000 to get it. With most systems, you would need to bring at least $1,000 and try to get that 10% win. We're up 380. Now, granted, if you just bring 160 and you lose early, you've lost. But the great thing is that's all you risked it for the day, and you can't say that about most systems. So we're up $400 already now with Romanowski, winning $20 per spin. And now even if we have a loss, we're still in profit, and that's a 14 red. Okay, that's a $20 win. Now we're at 420. Let's just keep rebetting and spinning, and here we go. That's a 10 black. That's another win. We got a good one there. We're at 440. Let's go ahead and rebet and spin. Here we go. We're almost 5 minutes in. We've already made a lot of money. That's a 13 black. Another win there. We're at 460. Let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Okay, that's a 25 red. Okay, that's a $20 win. We're up 480. And let's spin again. So if you are going to play for a while like this, you definitely want to bring more than the 160 because there's our first loss right there. But the great thing is we're still up 320, so we don't have to do anything except just keep playing and build it back up again. So here we go. That's a 29 black. It's another win. We're at 340 now. But I thought playing for the full 15 would give you an idea of how many losses you might get with this. We haven't had a lot up to this point, but they could happen. And you can see we just got our second loss right there. So now all of a sudden we're only up 180. This is why when you're playing Romanowski, if you get up $200, $300, cash out. But we're going to play longer so that you can see how it works with more reps. And we're up $200 now. Let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. Just depends on how many bullets you want to have in the chamber when you're deciding on a bankroll for this. We're up 220. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 33 black. Now obviously it's a huge advantage if you start off well. We're up 240. But you can have back-to-back losses like you saw earlier. Or you can go a long time without losing. And that's a 14 red. That's a win. Now we're back up to 260. And spin. And this is also a great way to build up comp credit. That's a 33 black because you're betting a lot on every spin. We're up 280. You're betting $160 per spin. So you're really building up the comp credit on your card. And that's a 27 red. Obviously, it's good to stay away from the zeros if you can. We're up $300, but you never know when those zeros are going to peak in there. And let's see what we get here. That's a 29 black. Okay, that's a win. We're up 320.
No more bets.
Let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Ooh, I thought I was going to hit the 0 there, but that's a 10 black, and we got the win. So we're up 340 now. We're building it back up. So even if we do have another loss, you know, we'll still be in good shape. That's what you want, and that's a 1 red. So now we've had, I think that's our 3rd loss, and that dropped us back to 180 again. Obviously, when you cycle up, if you're playing in the casino, that's when you want to cash out. You don't want to cash out when it cycles down, but again, I'm going to show you the ups and the downs of this system. And now we're up 200. Let's rebet and spin. We're 8 minutes in out of 15. That's a 28 black. That's a win. Okay, we're up 220.
No more bets.
Let's go ahead and rebet and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 23 red. That's a win. Now we're up 240.
No more bets.
I think we've had 4 losses up to this point. So again, it gives you a good gauge of, you know, how many you might have over the whole 15 minutes. And we might have, even though we didn't have very many early, we might have a bunch late. We'll see. We're up 260. But we do have the majority of the board covered. And out of those 38, and we have 32. So that is another win. We're up 280.
No more bets.
All right, let's rebet and spin. Here we go. Ooh, that's the 00 I was telling you about. That's not good, but that's okay. I want you guys to see that. Now we drop back to 120 profit. So now you see the importance of cashing out when you are up a lot. And that's in 19 red. That's another win. Let's see if we can build it back up. Okay, we're up 140.
No more bets.
And spin. Again, I usually use this system where I just try to get, you know, 5-10 wins in a row and cash out before I have a single loss. And that's great. It makes you feel good. We're up 160. And let's rebet and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 28 black. That's a win. So we're up 180 again.
No more
Let's
bets.
rebet and spin. We haven't been down yet for this session, but you can be down with this if you start out bad on the first few spins. And now we're up 200 again. Let's build it back up. That's why you would want to, if you're going to play for a while, you would want to bring more than the 160. Again, it's up to you how many chances that you want at that. And we're up 220.
No more
But
bets.
everyone's a little bit different. But again, there's not very many systems where you could risk 160 and win 160. Very few, actually. In fact, that's what I tell people most of all is don't bring $100 and try to win $100.
No more bets.
But with Romanowski, even though if you lose, you would if you only brought 160, you would be out. You would still have a pretty good chance of doubling your money, which is pretty rare. We're up 260,
No more
and
bets.
let's go ahead and spin. And because at different times we've been up a lot actually on this session, and we've definitely gone up and down. Now we're up 280 again, but we've been anywhere from I think 130 recently to oh, and there's a 0, so that's not good either. Obviously we got the 0 and the 00 now, and we're up 120, so we've cycled back down, and that's something to think about when you're playing. I think we've probably got something around 6 or 7 losses so far. Okay, and we're up 140, but just think how much comp credit we're building up. And those 6 or 7 losses, I mean, that's like $1,200 lost. However, we're still up. So we're up 160. So just think how much we've actually won and how much we've bet and built up comp credit on this one. And I hope it stays away from the 000. We've already got 2 of those. And we're up 180. I think we've had about 7 losses now, somewhere around there. And we're 11.5 minutes in out of 15. Any high numbers are fantastic with Romanowski. It gets us away from the first dozen. We're up 200.
No more bets.
And let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 4 black. Ooh, that's another loss. So now all of a sudden we're up 40. And this is the worst that we've been for a while. That's why I wanted to show you the ups and downs of this so that when you play it, you cash out when you cycle up. And now we're back up 60. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 33 black. That's a win. Let's cycle it back up again. We're up 80 now.
No more bets.
And let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Let's get it back up there. That's a 13 black. That's a win. It was close to hitting that 1 there. We wanted to stay away from that. We're up 100.
No more bets.
Let's go ahead and rebet and spin. The great thing is we've actually done everything so far on a $160 bankroll with this, which is ridiculous. We're up 120. Again, there's not really any other roulette systems out there where you could double your money if you got lucky and got some wins early. But this one you can. We're up 140. Again, normally you want to win about 10% of your bankroll if you play smart with roulette, but this is one where you could get a bunch of wins in a row and cash out. We're up 160, and it's great when you get over 160 because even if you lose, you're doing all right, and that's a 7 red. Okay, and now we're up 180 again, so you can see how this system cycles. And hopefully you've got a good idea of when to cash out based on this so far, because we just lost again. And I think we've had at least 10 losses now. We're up. That takes us back to $20 profit. And we'll see how this finishes up in the last minute and a half. That's a 12 red. And I think that's at least 11 losses there. And now we're down for the first time. So here we go. That's a 29 black. Okay, and that's a win. And if you do bring a larger bankroll, one thing you can do is double the bet and try to get some wins and then drop back down. But there is more risk involved, because if you hit a 0 like we just did there, you lose another 160, because now you see we're down 280. So if you do play this one with a good sized bankroll, you could double twice up to 640, and then try to get a few wins here and then move back down. That's a 33 black. So let's go ahead and give that a try now. Give you some options of the way you want to play this.
No more bets.
And here we go. But obviously there's more risk involved, and this would be if you actually had a decent sized bankroll like $1,000 instead of 160. And let's rebet and spin here. And let's see if we can get back in profit. That's a 35 black. Okay, that's a win, and we need another win to get back in profit. And then I would advise going back to where we started and building it back up, because that's a 12 red there. Now you see what happens if we lose at that high level. Now all of a sudden we're minus 680, and 15 minutes just expired. So now you know the risks of doing that. And I hope you also enjoyed how long we were up when you could have cashed out. So I wanted to show you both sides of that, and so that you have a good idea of how to play Romanowski and not leave down like we were right there at the finish, and to leave while you're up, because we've had tons of times we were up $200-300 when you could have cashed out, and then decide if you want to play with the 160 or if you want to bring $1,000 or $2,000. And then give your chance, and then that way you can double and try to get it back if you have some losses. But there's more risk involved there. Everyone's going to have a different way of playing it based on risk tolerance. And I do think that you can just flat bet this, and when you get up, cash out. And like I said, many times I've just got 5 to 10 wins and cashed out without a single loss, and that's another great way to play Romanowski. So now it is time for the new additions that Kentucky White has added to moving corners. This is going to be really exciting. I can't wait for this, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the new improvements from Kentucky White. Let's go ahead and place the bets on moving corners, just like the original first, and then I'll show you what he's been doing to make this system unbelievable. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 0-0 to start, so we just add one more corner. We lost that one, but just like any other loss, and let's add a third one in here and spin. And let's see what we get here. That's a 27 red. And that's a loss. Let's add the fourth one in, and that's when you double, is when you get to 4. You don't double at 3. Now we're going to be at $40 total, $10 on each one of these corners. That's a 34 red, and that's another loss. And with the original version of this, now we're going to add in 10 right here. With the original version, we double here, and then if we lose, then we double, keep doubling until we get the win. But this one's going to be different today. That's a 25 red. and we lost again. So this is we're at minus 165. So instead of doubling right here where we have been, what we're going to do now is we're going to see what's on those. You can see they're at 20 each. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 20 down on another one, just like that. And then now we're going to double to 240 and spin. Now all of a sudden we have 24 covered, and that's an 11 black. Okay, now that's a win. You can see though we're not in profit. So what we're going to do right now is take one of those off, just like that. And now we're back to 5 again, and let's go ahead and spin. That's a 21 red. Okay, and that's a 160 win. Now we're up 115. So we're going to restart back to the original ones. Okay, just like that, and spin. And we can keep moving these corners around. Let's see what we get here. That's a 12 red. And that's a nice win. All right, so we're up 150 already. And I'm actually glad we had all those losses early, so you can see start to see part of the differences, even though I haven't covered everything yet. There's also going to be splits involved with this. And that's an 8 black. And we're going to add the third one in now. And spin. Here we go. There's going to be more corner bets and then some splits added with losses past 5 corners. And we're up 170. Okay, we got the win there, so we're going to put 2 new corners out. Let's go ahead and do that and spin. And here we go. That's a 29 black. And that's a $35 win. We're up 205 already. So fantastic. So originally I was staying with 5 corners on this system and doubling until we got the win. But now we're going well past 6, well past and even past 7 with some splits, which I'm going to show you as we go through. And we lost that one, so let's add a third corner in and spin. And here we go. That's a 3 red. I think we lost that one. We did, so we'll add the 4th one and then double. That puts 10 on each instead of 5. And here we go. And I do like the idea of adding more numbers the more times you lose. It does give you a much better chance of winning. So now we're going to add 10 in right here and then double. Now we have 20 on 5 of them. But unlike the way we were doing it with this system, we're not going to just stay at 5 and keep doubling. And if you get a win, you just restart. But if you lose there, you're going to go to 6 corners. And then if you lose there, we're going to add more even after that. And we're up 220. Let's go ahead and go top left this time and spin. And here we go. That's a 28 black. And that's a loss. So let's go ahead and add a third one in now. And spin. All right, here we go. That's a 22 black. That's a loss. So we're going to add a 4th one in now and double. Okay, now we're at $40, 10 on each. And let's go ahead and spin. And we lost that one with the double 0. So that's okay. Let's add a 5th one in. Again, we're going to add that one in at 10 because that's where the rest of them are. And then we double. That puts $100, $20 on each of 5 corners now. And again, if we lose here, we're going to go to 6 corners. And we did lose. So let's go ahead and always see what's on there. And you can see that we have 20 on each. So we're going to add 20 in before we double. And then now we're at 240 total bet with 6 corners. If we lose this one, now we're going to keep adding more numbers. And that's a 3 red. But we got the win there. And you can see we're up 175. And if you're happy with that, you can reset at this point. And I think that's actually close to session profit. So let's go ahead and restart back with 2. But let's switch, go back to where we started with $5 units. Let's start top right this time. But if you're not anywhere near session profit there, you can peel one of those corners back off. and we'll be talking about that later when it comes to the splits that would be added after that. So let's go ahead and add another one here,
No more bets.
because those splits will be coming off with wins as well until we are in session profit or close to. And you just want to play as smart as possible. We're up 195. Let's start bottom right this time and spin. And here we go. That's a 10 black. And that's a loss. Let's add the third one in.
No more bets.
And spin. And here we go. That's a 35 black. That's a nice win. So we're up 215. We'll go right over here now and
No
spin.
more bets.
Moving these corners around. And that's a 3 red. I think we lost that one. And we did. So let's add the third one in.
No
Again,
more
we don't
bets.
double till we get to 4. We're 7 minutes in out of 15. Almost halfway through. And we always play, for a while so that you can see the ups and downs of each system. And let's go ahead and add the fourth one in and double. Now we're at $40 total, 10 on each. And let's go ahead and spin. That's a 32 red. That's a loss. So we're going to add the fifth one in at 10, where the other ones are, and then double. Now we're at 20 each on 5. And here we go. That's a 9 red. And we lost again. So this is more losses than normal, but actually a good thing because it's showing these new additions to the system. And now there's 20 on 6 of them. That's a 120 total bet. You double that to 240 and spin. And here we go. That's a 13 black. And you can see when you add in more numbers, you have a better chance of hitting. We're at 170. I would reset at this point, even though that's not session profit. But if you want to, you can just peel one of these corners off and go again. But let's go ahead and be smart about this and reset. And let's switch those back to 5s again. Here we go. Because you can always build it back up. But if you lose a bunch of big ones, it's hard to get them back. And that's a 21 red. That's a loss. So let's go ahead and add a third one.
No more bets.
And spin. There we go. That's a 31 black. And it is really nice to keep adding numbers so that so you do feel like you're going to hit that next one. When you do get the loss and you add 4 more numbers, it really does increase your chances of hitting on the next one. And that's a 31 black. That's a loss. So we're going to go to 5 now. Add it in as 10 and then double.
No more bets.
Now we're at 20 each on 5 for $100 total. And that's an 18 red. And we got the win. So fantastic. We're up 185, and then we'll move over here. And even if we don't get to the splits, I'm going to show you what to do with them. But you never know. We've still got a ways to go here. I think we'll probably get to those here pretty soon. But either way, I'm going to cover it for you, and so you know what to do. And we're adding a lot more numbers in than the original 5 corners. And that's a 7 red. That's a loss. Let's go ahead and we'll add this one in and double. And then when we use this one to test against other systems in the future, I will start using it this way, the way Kentucky White's using it. And that is another loss. Let's go ahead now and add a 5th one in at 10 and double. So again, that puts 20 on 5 corners. And let's go ahead and spin. That's an 8 black. And that's a win. Fantastic. So we don't have to go to 6. We're up $200. And let's add 2 more down here.
No more bets.
And spin. And any chance you have to reset, always do that. But if you need to keep going, and then just peel one off. And let's go ahead now and add a 3rd one in here. And spin.
No more bets.
And here we go. Okay, that's a 27 red. And that's a loss. Let's go ahead and we're going to add a 4th one in and double.
No more bets.
All right, here we go. That's a 29 black, and we lost. Okay, so we'll add the fifth one in at 10 and double.
No
And
more
we're getting
bet.
to these fives a lot more than normal, but that's okay. Because now we have, now we know we're going to go, if we lose, we'll go to 6. But we got the win there, so that's great. We're up 215. We'll start top right this time.
No more bet.
And spin and continuing to make profit with moving corners from Kentucky White with these new additions that make it easier to recover, and by adding more numbers and then also by peeling off bets if we're not in profit or close to. And here we go. That's a 28 black. That's a loss. Let's add the fourth one in and double. Just like that. And now we have 10 each instead of 5 on 4 corners. That's 16 numbers, and that's a 17 black. All right, that's a good win, and we're up 240. Let's start over here and
No more
spin.
bet.
We're almost 12 minutes in. So again, if we don't get to that, I'm going to share with you what to do after that 6th corner bet, because I know 6 fills it up all the way across. So that's why we're going to start using split bets. And we're up 230. Let's add the third one in and spin. So we'll be adding 2 split bets for the next 2 corners. That's a 20 black. Okay, that's a loss. And we'll add one more in here and double.
No more bet.
And spin. So if you lose at the 6th corner bet, you're going to add two split bets on the next one. You just want to make sure that they have the same amounts as the other numbers. That's key. So we might get there, we might not. We'll see here, but I'm going to explain everything. And now we're going to 5 and then doubling. That puts 20 on each of 5 corners. So again, that's a 22 black. That's a win. So I'll start explaining it. We're up 255 and we have 2 minutes left. So let's start over here this time. And so if you lose on the 6th corner, you're going to add in 2 splits and then double. And then if you were to lose again, we're up 290, you'd add 2 more splits. The difference is when you get a win, if you're not in profit or close to, you're going to start peeling those split bets off one by one when you get wins until you're happy with where you're at or you're in session profit. So let's go ahead and add a third one in here. So you can actually get up to 32 numbers covered by the time that if you kept losing, and that would dramatically increase the number or the chances that you would have. Sorry, we'll add that in and double 10 each now. That would dramatically increase the chances that you have of hitting those next bets by increasing the numbers bet, and that's a 33 black. That's a nice win. We're at 315. And it's been nice that we've recovered some of those on the, and we haven't got to the 7th or 8th level yet, but the that's another nice one there. We're up 350. We'll start over here, but it definitely does help with the recovery. If you stay at 5 corners, you could miss those. That's only 20 numbers. You could miss that a lot easier, and all of a sudden now we're up 385. So here we go again. Let's go ahead and spin. So again, you start at 2, then you go to 3, then you go to 4 and double, then you go to 5 and double, then you go to 6 and double. That's another nice win. All right, so now we're up $420. And but then if you lose at 5, you go to 6 corners, and then after that you would with a loss you would add 2 splits, and then double, and then 2 splits, and then double, and then if you're not in profit when you get the win or close to, then you're going to start peeling bets off after each win until you get there. And the 15-minute mark just hit, and we lost that one. But so we made $395 profit in 15 minutes with these new additions to moving corners from Kentucky White. Thank you, Kentucky White. And let me know down in the comments what you think of as well, and let me know if there's anything I could have done better with this system. And thank you for creating these, and really appreciate everyone in the community that sends these systems in and is so active and helps other people out. That's fantastic. And I hope you guys are enjoying the channel and the search for the best roulette system possible each and every day. If you are, please like, share, and subscribe, and let's keep growing this great community of people that love roulette. and that would be fantastic. I sure love seeing the new systems in every day. Remember to send those to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. I pick a new one every single day, and this is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.